Assalamualaikum students, hope you are all doing great. I'm Dr. Aisha Yunus and today the topic is vitamin E and vitamin K. So talking about vitamin E is a group of fat soluble compounds and they're also known as tocopherols. Tocopherols have four main forms: alpha, beta, gamma and delta. And we have tocotrienols, and these are related vitamin E compounds, and they also are found in four forms: alpha, beta, gamma and delta. Out of all these 8 tocopherols and tocotrienols, alpha tocopherol is most active and biologically potent and is effective in humans. These are all the forms of vitamin E, as I told you before: alpha, beta, gamma and delta tocopherol, and alpha, beta, gamma and delta tocotrienols. Talking about the properties of vitamin E or benefits of vitamin E or what it does for our body, vitamin E is a naturally occurring antioxidant, and antioxidant has so many benefits for our body. It boosts immunity. It is also known as anti-sterility vitamin because it helps in normal reproduction in many animals, and it is also known as beauty vitamin. And maybe you have seen people using vitamin E oil on their face and vitamin E oil mixed in oils for their hair, and it is used in several skincare and hair care products by the beauty industry. The benefits of vitamin E: it decreases environmental damage to your hair because it is an antioxidant, prevents cataract formation, helps PMS symptoms, boosts immune system, effective for hands and nails, and balances hormones, balances cholesterol, repairs damaged skin, improves cognitive function, good for cardiovascular health, fights free radicals. Again, this mostly all the benefits are because it is an antioxidant. Now talking about the dietary sources of vitamin E, here you can see top 12 vitamin E rich foods. There are spinach and other leafy vegetables are very rich in vitamin E. Nuts like almonds, pine nuts, Brazil nuts, sweet potato, whole grain food and vegetable oil, they are all great rich sources of vitamin E. Talking about the plasma level and requirement of vitamin E, the normal plasma level of vitamin E is 0.8 to 1.4 mg per 100 ml. According to a current estimate, vitamin E requirement for adults is 0.8 mg per gram of essential fatty acid. That makes about 8 to 10 mg tocopherol per day. We are starting vitamin K, and vitamin K is a fat soluble vitamin with a specific coenzyme function. This is speciality of vitamin K. It is required for the production of blood clotting factors essential for coagulation. Vitamin K exists in different forms: vitamin K1, K2, K3. K1 and K2 are naturally occurring, while K3 is a synthetic vitamin K. Talking about vitamin K1 and vitamin K2, vitamin K1 is known as phylloquinone and it is found naturally in leafy green plants. It goes directly to your liver and helps maintain healthy blood clotting. So what are the sources of vitamin K1? We can have vitamin K1 in our diet through green leafy vegetables. Coming to vitamin K2, it is also known as menaquinone and it is found in animal products and fermented foods, but it is produced by our natural intestinal flora, and normally we do not need vitamin K2 in our diet. Like, we have enough production of vitamin K2, but if you need vitamin K2, what are the sources of vitamin K2? It is found in animal products and fermented foods. It is essential for bone strength, artery and blood vessel health. Again, talking about best natural sources of vitamin K1 and vitamin K2. Vitamin K1, dark green leafy vegetables, as I told you, like spinach, kale and lettuce and collards, turnips, broccoli, carrots, vegetable oils, blueberries and grapes. And for vitamin K2, we have soybeans, Dairy products like hard cheeses, liver and other organ meats, beef, pork, chicken, egg yolks, fatty fish such as salmon. Talking about the vitamin K requirement of our body, the vitamin K requirement of a man is met by combination of dietary intake and microbial synthesis in the gut, specifically for vitamin K2. The daily requirement of an adult human body is about 0.3 mg per kg of vitamin K. In vitamin K deficiency, if the body gets deficient of vitamin K, the prothrombin content of blood is markedly decreased and the blood clotting time is considerably prolonged. In newborns, vitamin K deficiency is normal because of the minimal stores of prothrombin at the time of birth and lack of established intestinal flora. Soon after birth, all infants, or especially those at increased risk, should receive an intramuscular dose of vitamin K that can be 0.1 to 0.2 of vitamin K3, that is synthetic vitamin K, and or 0.5 mg of vitamin K1. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions related to the topic, you can ask me in the comments.